Will you see the best horror movie of the year? Will you maybe find your true love at the movie theater? Perhaps you might get a bad case of dysentery from a rancid popcorn bucket. All will be revealed. Madame Crystal knows all, sees all, tells all. For a price, of course. So come closer, and I will reveal to you your future.
Another death card? Are you serious?
I'm reviewing tarot. Tarot is a new supernatural horror film from Sony Pictures in theaters right now. It is based on the 1992 novel Horoscope by Nicholas Adams. Tarot is directed by Anna Hallberg and Spencer Cohen. It stars Harriet Slater, Aidan Bradley, and Wolfgang Novogratz. I'm going to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible so that I don't ruin the movie for you if you choose to see it. Tarot is about a group of college friends who rent an Airbnb for a birthday. While there, they find a very old tarot deck. One of them knows how to read the cards, and she does for each of the people there. And as it turns out, each of them start dying. That's the basic gist of the film. This film is PG-13, I should point out, so I will take that into consideration with what I'm saying and how I am talking about the film. I have not read the book Horoscope, but I do find the concept of this tarot deck and using tarot to do your horoscope very, very interesting. I mean, I might consider reading the book since I've seen the film now and see how it differs from the book actually. Anything gateway horror, I'm all for because I just want more people to love horror. So if this creates more horror lovers, then I say kudos to you and I appreciate your contribution to the horror community. Production value on this film is very, very, very good. The cinematography is really nice. I really enjoyed it and I thought it was really lovely. I will say the entire film is shot very dark. However, I could see everything I was meant to see. And I have to say that the score is very, very interesting. The sound is excellent on the film. There were some interesting moments with music where it was very spot on with what was happening in the film, and obviously intentionally so. So it created some funny moments. Did I hate that? No, but it did take me out of the film a little bit. Sometimes I find that cute, and I guess with a PG-13 film, it's something that you kind of expect. The acting was fine from everyone involved. I didn't have a single problem with any of the actors. They were, cliche characters slightly, but not any worse than I've seen in any other film that revolves around college people. In fact, I thought some of them were really funny. Paxton. He was weird. I'm always gonna be the one that loves the weirdo. It's always the way I've been. As far as college age people go, I felt like these people felt much younger than college age. I was happy to see that they weren't in high school because I really can't stand that, but they didn't feel like they were in college. It was just something about the way that they interacted that just felt very young. I'd much rather see college kids than high schoolers, just saying. I do love that the film is based on a tarot deck. I've heard that people were concerned that this film was going to show tarot reading in a bad light. Based on the story, I don't really think that's true. I think that this is an instance within tarot reading that has made this the way that it is. Not giving anything away because it's pretty much in the trailer. You can see that each person has a specific card that is kind of associated with them, and they create creatures based on that particular card. which is actually very interesting. I really like the way that the creatures look. I like the tarot deck itself. I think that was a really cool looking deck, and a lot of the effects are practical. Obviously, I think most of them were practical, if not all. As I said, the production value of the entire film was actually very, very good. And that includes the creatures that were involved in the film. This film feels like it is a Final Destination type film, which makes sense because, you know, they all know they're gonna die. And also it has a feeling of 13 Ghosts. I love 13 Ghosts, and I know a lot of people don't. I think that movie is fantastic because I think the ghosts are so freaking cool in that. But this film is not as gritty and as dark and not as spooky or scary as that film. This is that sort of film for someone that is new to horror or young. So PG-13 is perfect for that. Would I have preferred this film to be an R-rated one? Yeah, I would have preferred it to be more 13 Ghosts. A lot of that gore, a lot of that, oof. That would have been fun. That would have been super fun. There are several jump scares in this film, but they're not really jump scares. I mean, they didn't really jump out at me. I don't know how many there were because they didn't really work on me, but that's not a fault of the film itself. It's just a fault of me. I am the problem. I watch too many horror movies. I'm so desensitized to a lot of things. Honestly, for a PG-13 film, I liked this a lot more than I anticipated. I felt like it was definitely pushing the PG-13 rating because some of it was kind of brutal. Of course, you don't see what's happening, but they still managed to be creative with some of the kills. Now, some of the kills were kind of boring. Fine, whatever. But some of them felt brutal, even though, you know, we didn't get to see the brutality. There was some editing that could have been tightened, and yes, it could have been shorter. It was long. It was a little long-winded. Some of the dialogue actually did make me chuckle. Some of it I didn't love. There was one line in particular that I laughed out loud. And I was like, oh God. I didn't love the end. I feel like some of the story was contrived. I enjoyed how the film ended up. I didn't necessarily love how the ending happened or how we got there. I feel like the filmmakers knew what they wanted to make and they made it. And I think they did a good job and were successful at what they were trying to make. Is this a film that I would be like, oh my God, you've got to run out and see Tarot? It depends. I think that for teenagers, absolutely. I think they would really enjoy this. I think that it's definitely for the newer horror crowd or a horror crowd that is very young. I think this is going to be an interesting film because I could see a lot of people not enjoying this film. I could see people thinking that it's boring or cliche or too long. I can be a lot more accepting of a horror film than I can for a regular film or a normal film because I understand that sometimes you need to get from point A to point B and sometimes it's not that easy. I really did have a good time with this one. Maybe because I wasn't, looking too hard at it. Do you enjoy divination films? Are you planning on seeing tarot? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I really do hope that you have the most amazing day, my spooky darlings. I want to say thank you to my Patreon members. I love you all so dearly. And I would like to point out my two newest Patreon members, Eddie and Mikey B, along with my other most amazing Patreon members, Chris Mizictino, Jimmy Horror, Janie McLaren, Jose Reyes, Phil Smith, Jim Kemmerling, and Deal Demon. Thank you so very much for supporting me and supporting the channel. It means so very, very much to me. I like the holographic decks. It's a little hollow death. Holla, 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 hollow death. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I watched too much Papa Meat. I love that dude. What was it this week? Chicken Sammies?
Dude, a nice chicken sandwich. Who doesn't like a nice chicken sandwich for lunch, right?
Glooping. So much glooping. So much glooping. I've got multiple decks because, Just depends how I'm feeling. Depends what mood I'm in, you know? What am I feeling today? I'm feeling very vampire, darling. That's most days, though.